Hi Miriam, I've got 3 questions for you. First question is, when did you get your nickname Swamp Thang? The second question is, when did you know you wanted to be such a fierce advocate for self-respect and self-love? And the third question is, what excites you about your future?
Morning. Thanks for your video, Craig. I very much enjoyed the little walkie, the talkie. It was very good. So question number 1, Swamp Thing. I love it when people actually like pick up on the Swamp Thing. It's good. So a lot of people call me the mermaid. I've been obsessed with shells on the beach for my entire life, and there was one particular day I was having a really bad time a few years ago. Really bad time, and I was getting what I like to call the rage, which is basically like this really dark anger, basically, that it was taking a lot to work through every day. And one particular day I got the rage so bad I danced for 4 hours straight before anyone woke up, and it still was there. So I decided to go to the beach, got myself some wine and a notepad, and just went mad on the beach, basically swimming and writing poetry and just allowing all the darkness out. And there was one point where I looked down, I'd fallen asleep, and I looked down and my legs were covered in sand and shells. And I was like, oh, it looks like a mermaid's tail. And then for some unknown reason, I went to climb on the rocks on my own, which was a really bad idea, but there you go. And I was sitting amongst the rocks, and there was all these flies and seaweed, and I looked down at my leg, and my legs were like covered in like the green ick, that you get on the rocks, and flies around me, and I'm like writing poetry, like this really dark, horrible poetry. And the thought just came to me, forget mermaid, more like Swamp Thing. And it kind of stuck. It's like a realization that you can be both. You can be like this beautiful, magic mermaid, and then you can be the in the depths, the dark, the flies, the Swamp Thing. You don't have to be either or, because we're all both. We're all both of them. And so I find it fun to play with it, because it's basically just, the dark side of Mirrie. And accepting both. That's okay. It's okay to be a Swamp Thing some days, and it's okay to be a mermaid others. Or maybe just be a human sometimes. I don't really enjoy that. It's a bit boring, but there you go. So, question number 2. I like the word fierce. I like that you've used the word fierce. I do feel fierce sometimes. I can tell you the exact moment, the actual exact moment. I'm going to take you back to Christmas Eve a few years ago, quite a few years ago actually. I went in for a routine scan, and she basically was like, I don't know how to say this, but you're pregnant. And I was like, I already knew actually, because I was already grieving. I told a doctor like 2 months before that I thought I'd lost a baby, but I don't get like pregnancy tests. Like pregnancy tests don't work for me, so the doctor basically just sacked me off and said, I had postnatal depression or something like that. Anyway, she was a bit of a shit doctor. They didn't actually know whether it was like a new pregnancy or not. So I then had, so this had been already going on for months, and then I then had, I think it was nearly 6 weeks of tests and keep going back. Deep down I knew it was already, a miscarriage, but I held on to the hope that it wasn't. And what I should say at this point is that throughout my entire life, I have had the most disgusting inner dialogue you can imagine. Like, I hated myself so bad. Like, oh my god, I can't even actually describe to you how I used to tear myself down every single day. Literally, I was just the worst person to myself. Horrible. I was an actual evil bitch to myself. Anyway, so now I'm facing, you know, basically this loss, and my body didn't want to give up. I didn't want to give it up, and so I tried everything, like, you know. So it was a really tough time because, you know, I was basically going through like this mental breakdown every single day, and I already had this horrible inner voice, so of course it got worse, and it was basically just like 6 weeks of hell until finally, you know, the hospital was like, "There's literally no hope. There's no hope. We're really sorry," and then my body actually let go, and I nearly died. I was rushed into hospital, and yeah, basically that was the closest to death that I've ever been. And then started this really long, drawn out process of getting better. So anyway, there's this night where I was laying in bed and still looking after the other kids, obviously. I was doulaing, I was taking photographs of babies, like I was still working. When I actually, you know, after I was in hospital, I had like these, I think about 3 or 4 weeks where I couldn't actually get off of the couch. And there was one night anyway, and I just sort of laid there. And it was very, very rare that I allowed myself to have time just to let my brain talk to me, because I had such a disgusting voice. I was actually scared. I was scared to be alone with my thoughts. And I remember just thinking, like, fuck me, my body's tired, you know? Like, gosh, she's really tired. Like, my body's really tired. And it wasn't like me, it was like my body. And the weird thing is that when I, like, you know, had the inkling that I was already pregnant and had already lost the baby, it was like my body was grieving, but my brain wasn't, because my brain was like, well, you're not pregnant. Nobody's saying that you're pregnant. But my body knew. It was like my body actually knew. And I just allowed this like deep sadness that was coming from my body rather than my brain, and just allowed this deep sadness all over my body. And I just thought, fuck me, I've not even like given my body a chance to cry. Like, I've not even given myself a chance to cry. And then I realized, like, all of a sudden it like hit me, like how my body had been protecting my baby. And then I realised how my body had been protecting me, you know, like holding on to this hope and holding on to all of the pain, like all of that grief that was already inside of me. My body had been holding on to it. And like the realisation that, you know, not only like through this, but through my entire life, my body's been trying to protect me and been loving me and been, you know, doing everything she can. And I'd literally hated on her my entire life, my whole life. Never, ever, ever done anything for my body to show her any type of kindness or love. And then it was like this again, this like another realization that like everything that I had been doing that was frustrating or that I hated about myself was actually a way of my body protecting me. And so if that was true for my body, that meant that was true for my brain, you know, like all the OCD and the anxiety. It was just a way that, you know, I'd learn how to protect myself from being hurt. And I realised that this whole thing was that my body didn't want me to feel the pain. Like, she would rather take on all of that pain for herself. And what have I done? Literally just completely destroyed her every single day. I was literally tearing myself apart every single day, internally, externally, in everything that I did. Never ever did I once show my body this realization that if that's true for me, and that I'm already worthy and already loved, even when I don't show her any love, like I'm already loved, then that's true for everyone. And if me, you know, coming from this entire lifetime of disgusting words and horribleness, if I could get through that and see my worth and actually get that kind inner voice, then literally anyone can. Like, if I can do it, then I knew that anyone can do it. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be like this epiphany and then love myself for the rest of my life. But I didn't realise that it's an ongoing job. It's a everyday commitment, and honestly, it's so life-changing that I just think everybody should feel it. I think every single person out there deserves it, and I think that, you know, if I can just show the way that it's changed my life, then it might inspire other people to give it a go and just actually just give a shit about yourself. That's it. Question number 3 is a nice one, isn't it? What am I excited about? I'm fucking everything. I'm literally on a boat. I literally got some bongos, mate. Bongos on the boat. I just, so much love, so much infinite possibilities, so much space for activities. Literally just so much. Just literally, I'm like, every day I'm just here satisfying myself. Like, not even aiming for joy, not even aiming for riches or whatever, just aiming for satisfaction in my day-to-day life, and as much love and cuddles as I can fit in with anyone who will give them to me. Don't get the creepers going. No, come on. I'm talking about proper love, you know? Just real appreciation and genuine happiness. Real love. What more can a girl want? I feel like I should be asking you, what are you excited about then? Come on, let me know. See you next time.